Hey guys, it's Dean. Welcome to Manful Yoga. You are about to view a workout titled 32-Minute Warrior Strength, Hips and Chest. So this is an intermediate workout I filmed just now that works on your chest and your hips. We're going to be doing longer holds, so not much quick movement, but very long holds, just a few select poses, but the focus is really on strengthening your hips and developing total body strength and endurance. So you're also going to be working into mobility. There's a lot of core strength involved. We've even got some balancing, some upper body. So I think you're really going to like this. Enjoy. We're going to get started in an active child's pose. So knees down, hip or mat width distant, big toes touch. Bring your arms out in front of you. Hands about shoulder width, forehead relaxed down. Try to plug your shoulders into your back and then squeeze your arms toward one another. So we're going to warm up your upper body. We're going to make sure that we're starting to stretch your lower back and getting your core active as well. So start tightening the muscles around your core, maybe playing around with your thighs. So you can try squeezing your legs toward one another. You can also try engaging your glutes and bring your knees further apart, or you can try both at the same time. So glutes engaged and also knees squeezing toward one another. Just start to turn on the muscles in your body, get your body active. With your shoulders, make sure they're plugging in to your back, so framing your upper body as opposed to way out in front like this. And start deepening your breath. 3 more breaths here, keeping the core active, keeping your arms active. One more breath. All right, and then from here we're going to move up into a tabletop. We're going to do some quick wrist stretching. Turn your palms around, your palms down, fingers facing you. Lean back, and then just start to do some twist here. So looking over toward the left, twisting over toward the right, stretching your wrist, getting your body ready. Even a plank or a down dog is significant stress on your wrist, so we need to make sure that we're ready. Anytime we're doing a plank, anytime we're doing a down dog. So just kind of leaning back and forth if you want. If you want to put more weight in your upper body, you can bring your knees further back, maybe even shift back a little bit more. Maybe your shoulders are closer to this position, and that's fine. The only thing you want to do here is make sure you're getting a stretch through your wrist and your forearms. Make sure you're getting and focusing on the sensation in your body. Don't try to just replicate what somebody else is doing. Fingers are spread nice and wide. So thumbs extending away from the index fingers. All right. And then we're going to flip it. So palms facing up, fingers facing one another. Spread your thumbs away from your index fingers. And if it's a little too strenuous, you can bring your knees a little bit closer to your wrist and put more of the weight into your lower body and your hips as opposed to your hands. Just kind of moving a little bit here. Again, moving up and down, moving side to side, just getting your wrist ready for the workout. This is something that gymnasts do, so it's something that's probably good for other people too. Especially for yogas, since we're just all wannabe gymnasts. All right. And we're going to move up into a lunge from here, so let's start opening up the hips. Right leg comes forward. And then from here, I want you to lift your left knee off the ground just a tiny bit, and then notice how that shifts the weight into your right leg. And then without changing the hips, set the left leg back down, but keep that same engagement through your hip. So most of the weight is in your right leg here. The left leg is squeezing in toward the middle. Arms can come up, and I want you to grab your left wrist with your right hand and then pull up and over to the right. So you're getting a stretch through your side and through your hips. You can keep the back toes tucked, as you see me doing now, or if you want, you can also untuck the toes. It doesn't make much of a difference. Again, really lifting up the chest. Try to tighten through your left side. So as opposed to pressing your body all the way out to the side, try to squeeze your left side in, and you'll feel a nice stretch through the outer hip. One more breath. And then release. and switch sides. So we're going to go left leg up now, right leg back, and that same thing again. So I'm going to start just lifting my right leg off the ground, just hovering just a little bit, and then shifting the weight into my left leg. My hips are level, they're squared toward the front, and then slowly releasing that right leg back down, but keeping the weight in my left leg. You can untuck the back foot or keep it tucked. It's up to you. Bring your arms up, relax the shoulders, and then grab your right wrist with your left hand, reach up and over to the left. Now again, just like I said on the other side, instead of poking your hips out to the right like this, I want you to hug your right side in toward your body, and that's going to help you get a better stretch through this outer hip area. It's also going to get better engagement through your core. So keep your chest up, draw the right side of your body in tight, and then lean up and over to the left. Got 2 more breaths here. As you exhale, maybe sinking a little bit deeper into this. All right, and then go ahead and release. And from there, we're going to move up to a standing position. We're going to go straight into a chair pose, start getting your glutes more active. So toes are touching, heels about an inch apart. Bend your knees, squeeze your thighs together, so like you're trying to squeeze or pinch something between your upper thighs. And then bring your butt way back, keep the hips level, bring your arms up. So continuing to open the shoulders. If this feels uncomfortable in your shoulders, you feel like you're pinching, bring your arms out to goalpost arms instead. And now we want to get the glutes very active here. So if you feel like you're leaning forward or the knees are past the toes, bring them back. We want to get the weight into the hips and the core here. Arms are up. And if you want to go a little bit deeper into the shoulders and challenge your upper body mobility, start to turn your palms to face backwards or toward the ceiling. Sit down a little bit lower. Make sure you're squeezing both hips. You can try bringing your hips from side to side just to help you orient yourself and get right in the middle. 1 more breath here. And then stand up all the way. Bring your arms straight up. A little bit of a back bend here. Press your arms up. Press down hard, firmly through your feet. And then release. Nice. All right, we're going to do a quick half sun salutation. So feet are about, toes are touching, heels about an inch apart. Or if you want, feet can be about 6 inches apart. Arms along your sides. Breathe in. Relax your shoulders. All right, inhale up. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees. Bring your fingertips to the ground. Maybe using a block if you prefer to use a block. Squeeze your thighs toward one another. Get some awareness through your core, through the inner thighs. Forward folds should be active. They're not passive. So you're using your quadriceps. You're flexing the muscles under your thighs. You're engaging your inner thighs, your adductors, and you're keeping your abs active. And that's what helps you get a safe forward fold. All right, from here, half lift. So hands come up the shins. Pull your chest forward. Try to make your upper body parallel to the ground. Keep thighs squeezing toward one another. Exhale and forward fold. Releasing down, looking behind you. From here, sit your hips down, kind of like you're doing a squat. Bring your arms out wide. Lift all the way back up. And then hands back to center. 1 more of those. Lift up. Exhale and fold. Bend the knees. Hands to the ground. Half lift. Pull your body forward. Chest looking forward. Stretching your hamstrings. Exhale and fold. Look behind you. And then sit down. Bring your arms out wide. Squat all the way back up. Lift your arms. And then hands back to center. Nice. All right, we're going to move into a wide-legged position from here. So legs are wide. If you want to use the block, go for that. Press into the outer edges of your feet. And I'm going to have you, actually before that, let's work on stretching your inner thighs. So squeezing your legs toward one another and pulling your chest forward. Pushing into the outer edges of your ankles, of your feet. So trying to create more of a shadow between the arch of your foot and the ground. So as opposed to this allowing the ankle to collapse, I'm going to work on pressing the outer edge of the foot into the ground and creating more of a shadow. And then from here, I want you to sink into one side. So just sinking into your left leg, keeping the inner right thigh active and keeping the weight in the left hip. So making sure you're not putting the weight in the left knee. And then switch, exhaling into the other side. Weight now into the right hip. Breathing in and out of the nose. And then back to the middle. Inhale. Squeeze the hips toward one another. Exhale. Shift to the left. Hips are still squeezing toward one another. Even in a wide-legged forward fold, you've got the inner thighs squeezing toward one another. Inhale back to the middle. Exhale over to the right. And this is the last one. Squeeze your right hip. Squeeze the legs toward one another. Make sure you're getting a nice stretch through that ankle. And then back to the middle. Squeeze the legs toward one another. Pull your chest forward. Bring your hands to your hips. And use your core strength to come all the way back up. Nice. All right, legs back together. We're going to go down to the ground into a plank. So we did a lot of wrist warm-up for a reason. You want the index fingers facing forward, your thumbs facing in, shoulders framing your upper body. So I mean shoulders on either side of your torso, not just in front of the chest, but on either side. And then biceps wrap toward the front. Shoulder blades pull down your spine, so down your back. Belly button lifts. Top of the head presses forward. Breathing in and out of your nose. And then squeeze your hands toward your feet for a little bit more of a challenge. So like you're trying to squeeze the mat together. One more breath here. And we're going to lower down halfway. So if you can, pull your body forward, keep your elbows in tight, and come into a low plank hold. So elbows are level with the shoulders. The shoulders are on either side of the chest, so we're not internally rotating the shoulders and crowding the ears, but keeping the shoulders lifted. And the weight should be in your upper back, your chest, and your shoulders, not just your shoulders or your chest. Keep the elbow squeezing in tight. Keep your belly button up. One more breath here. Take your knees down if you need to. And then release down. All right, Cobra. Point the toes back as long as you can. Internally rotate the thighs so the tops of your knees face down. Squeeze your ankles, your knees, your hips together. Tighten the abs. Lift. Squeeze your elbows back. Push your head forward and then look slightly forward if you can. A couple breaths here. Most of the weight is in your core and your hips. Your arms aren't holding anything. And you shouldn't be lifting with your back. Use your hips and your core to stabilize, and then pull your chest forward to lift a little higher. One more breath. And then release down. All right, from here we're going to move into a down dog. So hands just like you had them for plank, maybe a little bit wider. Tuck the toes, bend the knees, shift your butt up and back. And work on pressing your thighs away from your hands. Shoulders are on either side of your chest. So making sure that your shoulders aren't down here like this, but shoulders are on either side. And then the weight should be in your upper back instead of in the fronts of your shoulders. Bend your knees if you need to help get your back flat. And then once you have that flatness in your spine, you should be able to tell, based on how your core is feeling, if you feel like you've got a lengthened core, then that's a good indicator of a good down dog. Thighs squeeze toward one another, and then from there, see if you can push the legs a little bit back, a little bit more back. Thighs internally rotate, so your inner thighs start to wrap toward the back. Your legs are still squeezing toward one another. Calves, hamstrings opening up. Arms are straight.
squeezing toward one another. One more breath here. And then from here, let's step into a deep squat. So feet are going to come up halfway. Toes face straight forward or maybe slightly out. Squeeze your upper thighs toward one another. Tighten your hips, tighten your glutes. And then sit your hips down just a little bit. Make sure the weight is in your hips. And then pull your chest forward. Bring your arms out in front. And sit down and do a full deep squat. You're going to drive your knees open, so squeezing your knees to the outsides. If you want, you can use elbows to open that up. And then chest is lifted. Arms are out in front to help you counterbalance. We're going to do about 3 breaths here. Notice that my back is not rounded like this here. I'm picking my chest up. So this is an active squat. Your butt is out behind you. Weight is in your glutes. Abs are very active, and you want to feel length from your pubic bone to your sternum. One more breath here. And stand up all the way. Nice job.
Thanks for joining me for this workout today. Make sure you subscribe. We put out lots of videos like this on a very regular basis. And to get full access to all of my workouts, my programs, tutorials, and more, head to manfulyoga.com, sign up for a 7-day trial. It's just $1. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video.